Right. Hello, everybody. Yeah, we're going to have a quick conversation, and we'll have some Q&As for afterwards. So whatever you feel like asking, please keep it in your mind, and then we're good to go. Right, let's start. Lisa, what's the issue, or what's the relationship right now with tech and fashion?
Well, so I think like right now, it could be so great. But at the moment, I think it's still like, starting with when you go to a university, like the technology faculty is like on the one side of the campus, and the art and design faculty is on the other side of the campus. So just starting with that, you just see like how far apart it is. And it makes me like upset and angry at the same time, because I just think like if we just could marry them together, like just like get them together on a party at some stage, that's where like the really cool stuff starts. Those two, at the moment, completely different parts could work really, really nicely together. So the scene, especially in wearable technology, you have like a huge maker scene. They do like cable wiring and whatsoever. They don't worry that much about that you have to wash things, right? So I always say like it's kind of a little bit you join Hale's Angels, right? You get also a jacket you can never wash because you're part of a clan. And then you have, of course, the design, fashion scene who come from like a very long traditional background, but also at the same time have to push the boundaries every time. Every season something has to be new, something has to be like spectacular. But there's like this kind of, hesitance of using technology because it's like magic, and it's also like so clunky, and it is not beautiful, and you need like, battery boxes or something like that.
Do you mean like something like Google Glasses, where it does make sense because of the technology that you can wear, but you look completely ridiculous?
Yeah, so this is just an example for that Google Glasses has been invented by technology nerds.
Yeah.
Right? And it's more about the function that like, hey, I can scan you right now and I know what you tweet and who are you, because I can't remember your name. That was one of the reasons why I wanted Google Glasses in the first place, because I never can remember any names. Like, but I think like if a designer for glasses, like they would have done a complete different approach. And you can see that now because you have like these third partner startups coming up who do a design frame for those Google Glasses. So there is a demand for that. And I'm just
sorry for interrupting me. What do you think, if it's more than just technologies that we use, what else should wearables do? Or would you separate between wearable technology and wearable fashion? And what is what?
I think it's like, the thing is, at the point where like it can come together is at the point at their strongest points from both sides, right? So like technology can make things work, intelligence, track whatsoever, but that is a function. And design can make it look really, really nice. It also can make it feel nice. So those 2 points, just take them and put them together.
So then you're saying that wearable fashion has to make some kind of sense, like what we heard this morning about you have your clothes and you run around and it's going to connect with your Wi-Fi when you're back home and exchange the data. Is that a requirement for wearable fashion that does make sense, or can it also just take technology and make it look very beautiful?
Yeah, so I think it's at the moment what you have in the market is like when you look about wearable technology, it has to track something. Like so you have e-health. It's important, of course, that you know what your pulse is and whatsoever. But you don't have to it doesn't need to know your pulse. But it can still be useful and it can still be beautiful. And I think at that point, fashion just understands that part just a little bit more better, because they know how to make things pretty and whereas technology is just, yeah, it works. Talk with a software engineer and they just say like, yeah, it works, and then a UX designer comes in and is like, yeah, but it has to be useful.
All right. Maybe we could have some slides. Oh yeah. Do you want to go into them and explain them a little bit, and how far that's that tracks or doesn't track or just looks good? Can you separate from what we have up there?
So in preparation for this, because I got asked, like, you know, what is actually out there at the moment. So this is obviously, you know, like not everything what is on there. I just like went through my list of things, also through my shopping stuff, because I bought all of these. Love them. But this is what you see. It's just like Elemoon, for instance. So they are launching in February. I think you can buy that right now. So this is just like a smart bracelet. Yes, it can track you. Sorry. Yes, it can. Yes, it can track you. Yes, it can knows your pulse. It lights up when you get a phone call, but it also looks pretty, right? And also the idea behind that is that when you wear certain colors, you can tell your bracelet to adapt to your outfit. So that is the idea behind that. Ringly, for instance, you know, it's jewelry design, and it lights up when your phone calls. Or when you get a tweet or a Facebook post. NFC ring, so that is something at the same time as like lock bar. So you wear this ring and you do like the magic touch. So you can, for instance, unlock your phone when you do that. Or you can unlock your house door when you do that. So you can define the gestures you want to do. And then you just connect to another hardware device, like the door or the phone. Liberate Tech, they're on Kickstarter right now. Please go and support these guys. They're absolutely fantastic. They're working really hard to make that work. So this is like an LCD screen. And you can pretty much, so on the one side, you can use the patterns from the smartphone app, but you can also scan your outfit. And then it just gets reflected in your bracelet. Super excited about that. I love that. That is awesome. And then, of course, Covert Design, who have a long list of designs. Is, again, it tracks and it communicates with your phone. All of those people around that, they're actually not technicians, except their NFC rings. And I'm doing something really wrong here. I'm sorry. I hold it like that. Yeah, can I have the microphone? Thank you.
Können wir vielleicht mein Mikro? Wunderbar.
Can we also? Are we done with this slide? Because there's something else on the next slide. Because right now we've just talked about technology that's put into fashion.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can also have fashion made by technology. That would be 3D printing, for example. Do you want to go into detail in that a little bit?
Yeah. So this is like in accessories. Just quickly, so this is an attempt where you already have a function, like, you know, you have like the Fitbits or the, and you're just gonna make them pretty. Same thing as like with the Google glasses, there is a function, but, you know, it like just kind of looks a little bit awkward. So these are like all these kind of attempts to make it pretty. So Bella Bead Leaf, that is a device, is especially for female users to track your cycle. If you want to get pregnant, for instance, you know, so you can track that. And so they had like this kind of tracker thingy, and then they just made a design around it. Swarovski Shine is an interesting project because they got together with Misfit. So Swarovski just made a design around the technology. And pretty much the same. Everpurse, like who knows, you know, every time you're on the go and you're phone goes flat. Apparently, there are design bags. They work like a charger station. That's very useful. I love that.
That's handy.
I'm like they do pre-orders at the moment, and then of course switch opacity. You know, making everything sparkle. They also work on a collection for T-shirts, so you can wear that, but just like as a T-shirt.
All right. There's also, I don't know if people can see it, this scarf, it's shining. Can we switch off the lights maybe real quick a little bit? On stage? Someone? Somewhere? That is... Can someone see it? That it's shining?
Yeah.
No?
Right.
Not at all?
Right.
A little bit. Okay. Well,
yeah.
However, it's shining. Thank you. And it's charged. It's done by batteries. What would you think are the problems that are currently faced by wearable fashion, wearable technology? Because I would not see myself putting this into a washing machine, for example.
Right. So the first problem with technology also is, of course, it needs electricity in some form and shape. If you, of course, you can do it like wireless or with a wire, with a battery, whatsoever. But the thing is, if you want to make something sparkle, it needs electricity, and that's where the problem.
What about yours? How does yours work?
It's a battery. It's a hidden battery behind that. So this is like one of the things what we are also working on. So you have to find a solution for that. You have two ways. You either get rid of the whole electricity thing altogether. So that means you go into solar power, for instance, or you go into kinetic technology, so through movement you generate electricity, or through body heat. All of those concepts, which are possible, they're already there. If you go like into the maker scene, they're experimenting with that a lot.
When do you think are we going to see some results in that area?
I think it comes at that point when actually like designers come to technologists and say like, hey, this is really cool, but we need like a better design for that.
Okay.
So the problem with currently what we have is you have wires and you have electricity, and that is something again like what designers face, but they can't find a solution for that. So again, I'm always on a touch point where like this is what you can do, but to that certain point, and then you have to talk with somebody else out of your industry. And I think it's because the end products, I mean, like all of those things look like so pretty, but the thing is like you can't do that completely entirely on your own. Like you as a designer, you can't just like wipe up quickly like a battery intelligence department or whatsoever. I mean, you can if you have enough cash, right? And for the technologists, it's a other way around. So you talked about washable stuff. So yes, the problem is I want to wash it, right? Because not everybody joins Hell's Angels. But there are solutions, for instance. So if you, for instance, work with glass fiber optic material, in the end of the day, it is just plastic. So you can wash plastic. Probably not on like 60 degrees in the washing machine. I wouldn't recommend that. I've tried that. I wouldn't really recommend that. But like the scarf, for instance, it's because it's there's a battery in that which you can undetach. Yeah, you can. And then you can wash it.
Take it off.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but this is something again, understanding that for the designer, okay, I have to create like a little pocket for that, so I can put the battery in it. The other thing also is with all of those LEDs and EL wires, which come originally from a complete different industry. They come from military, they come from a glass fiber optic, high-speed internet kind of stuff. So they weren't made for being worn. So we have to like adapt the battery systems for that as well. The thing is, the current battery systems, they're like from the 70s and from the 80s, and they've never got like, further developed. And it's not like that it can't be done. It's just like because nobody actually said like, okay, do we have to do that? And I think with all of those wearable technology, wearable fashions, now we are pushing a complete different kind of innovation again, and that is really exciting.
And that would be one of the advantages now, because with all the 3D printing and more customizable stuff, I mean, there are studies out there saying that 75% of all bras that females wear don't even fit right, because apparently we don't all have the same form, chest, size, whatever. How would wearable technology play into customization or finding clothes that actually fit us?
Yeah, I think it's because also we have like this point of like customized manufacturing. I think like just a little bit about the bra. I just came back from San Francisco. A friend of mine is a bra maker, and she, for the first time in my life, I have a custom fitted bra, which
looks
is like,
great.
It's just like, which is it's just such a nice feeling to have. And I think it's also now that our customers these days, they just have grown up. They don't take anything off the rack anymore. They just say like, hey, I want to have it bigger or smaller, and I would like to have it in neon pink and not in white or blue, or the other way around, right? So That means, you know, you have to custom fit it, but also those like wearable tech things, you know, they're all custom fitted to like one of the models, or they're like one-offs, because especially in couture, the wearable designs, it takes a long time to prepare them. And also, who like ever like soldered one of those dresses, they know like how long it takes, right? So I think like we are on a point now where everything makes sense. Like the industry is ready for that. The technology is there already. We don't have to reinvent things anymore. There is so much already there.
But are the customers ready? Would you say the customers are ready to wear shiny necklaces, shiny scarves?
Yeah, so this is one of the things. It's like at the moment, if you like Google wearable technologies or like wearable fashion, the thing is still, it's perceived it's either the Pebble or the Google Glass, or it's like these super beautiful concept designs, like what Anouk always does. It's like so amazing. So like that is a dress, when you get too close, it spreads its wings, like its claws. So it's like supposed to be like a protective gear. And the one from Ying, especially the glass fiber optic thing, based on the noise around it, it just like moves. So it changes all the time. So, but that is the perception from like the mainstream to wearable technology. The other thing what he did, so this is just something like it goes on sound. So it's like it works like an animal, right? So like the hair goes up and down based on the noise around it. But there are attempts like from Pauline, for instance, where you make it like less visible and then also like less scary for mainstream. So Pauline has done like a knitting design where like there are sensors built in, and especially for like elderly customers, and it's there to track your pulse. You know, so when you hit the stage where you get like a heart attack, you know, possibly. So you wear it, it's nice, you can wash it, okay. And it also feels nice. So all of that is like out there, and it's crazy and it's fantastic. And now you can see like step by step people like Pauline and Electric Foxy and Christopher who just want to go a little bit more into mainstream. And I think this is also about getting away from like this conceptual stuff, you know, and just like into like the normal usage, but we need the couture approach to like really push the boundaries first, because so I know from like Anouk, for instance, you know, because she needed her own battery systems for that, okay. And now she is working with it's like one of those big battery guys, and now because now they're listening to her, because before it's like, yeah, why do you need like different batteries? Like, yeah, for that. Thank you very much. So, and those battery systems we can use for like the normal stuff, like just, you know, make your scarf glow, or have like a sensor for your heart rate in your knitted jacket.
Mm. Last question from my side, so everybody else can get prepared for his or her one. Would you say that functional wearable tech, let's say shiny, because a lot of people are asking me if I was wearing this for protection when I'm biking at night. Would you say that is one of the approaches, or is that something of the space that you are referring to?
I think it's like totally normal. I think like this like, I know like with the scarf, for instance, like it wasn't actually designed for like cyclists, but then like cyclists looked at it and it's like, oh, I want that because then I can be seen in nighttime. So this is something exciting, talking and working with customers really early in your research and development phase. So it's like, yeah, right, like bicycles, yeah, well, okay, good, you know, you can do that. But I think it's just like, I liked it. I like especially that point because then people use it for something they do every day, right? So because if you see like Anouk's designs or Ying's designs, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to even like go on a bicycle with it. Okay. So I think it's like this is all about accessibility and like just. And make people understand, make it more accessible for people to say like, okay, I can just like wear that, you know, in the office, and I don't look like a circus pony or a robot. There are places and ways and reasons why you want to look like a robot, and it's cool and fine. Been there, done it. But I think especially if you want to go into mainstream, we just have to go a little bit like less sparkling, which will be especially for the technology LED nutters a little bit painful. Been there, done it. But if you want to have it like in ready to wear, there are so many other components you have to think about and you have to implement into your design. And you only know that if you actually, if you talk with the people who are producing it. So I was in another talk just now, and sorry, like I have this thing where I'm just keep going on. I'm just like, can I just ask, who is a designer here? Who is in fashion? Excellent. Who is in technology, is a programmer whatsoever? Can you please talk with each other? Like go for a drink later on, I'll pay your drink, that's fine. And then we'll go all to Fab Lab and like work on the laser cutter together. See, so this is the thing. This is just like, you know, just talk with each other. And I think like that is one of the things I'm mostly excited about, because if just like 2 or 3 of you talk with each other and just like make a prototype, if it's for the bicycle or if it's for, you know, nighttime scaring people off or being seen, I don't care. But, you know, together you can make the work sparkle. So that's the meme, and it's like also one of the reasons why I founded Electro Couture, because so that I can act as a curator, where I say like, okay, I really love your design, and hey, can you please talk with that technologist? And then I just lock them into a room until they are finished with our house design.
So pretty much having the design first and putting useful technology into it instead of having glasses that look ridiculous and trying to make them look better by pushing a design on it.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. We're going to stop here. Are there any questions? No, well, when we did fabulous, actually not, no.
Thank you very much to the both of you.
Excellent.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Felicitas. Thank you, Lisa.